Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving Schools.
Hello and welcome to Oh When the Town. What are we going to talk about? Well, let's talk about this. We had a shambolic performance up at Sunderland, I think, and so we upped our game on Saturday against Sheffield United at Kenilworth Road, and if we had our shooting boots on, we could have been well in front and in control of the game, and instead a moment of misery was thrust upon us and we fall to a 1-0 defeat. We're going to talk about the game, obviously, as usual. I think there are some good points from it, though. And let's take some positives. The new guys, they did well, didn't they? We're going to talk about that. And in particular, Aasgaard, how well did he perform on the day, especially first half? I'll have a chat about that at all. And we asked you guys just that. Does it give you inspiration? Does the Sheffield United performance give you inspiration for the coming up to the next game, which we have to win a midweek against Plymouth? Lots to talk about, not a lot of time to do it. If you're on YouTube, you'll see who's with me tonight. It's lovely to see Steve and Darren. Thanks for coming along.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is actually... I was a bit more positive leaving Kenilworth Road on Saturday, even though we didn't win. I was a little bit more positive than I have been. What do you two think?
It was miles better. It was so much better. Probably performance-wise, one of the best since Watford at home. Couple of key moments, obviously, that done for us in the end, but the performance was so much better.
It's nice to see exciting football.
Yeah, I think when the team sheet came out, you looked at it and you think, well, we knew we were going to have a few players back because of the press conference. But when you look at the lineup and then look at the strength of the bench, suddenly you think, well, here we go. Probably for one of the first times this season, it might well be the strongest looking team we've put out all season. So you're expecting a performance off that, and we got it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Matt didn't get his first win as manager. It's now 6 games in without a win. We're not worried yet, are we? By that, we are worried.
I'm disappointed because you expect some kind of new manager bounce, and. It's a shame, and I know we had to get the players back, but it's a shame it's taken 6 games to get that kind of performance. Because let's be honest, up until Saturday, it's been pretty drab, not too dissimilar to Edwards' kind of football. And you think, had we played like we did on Saturday when Bloomfield came in, who did we have? We had Preston, Millwall. Had we played like that against them, I think we probably would have won the games. Certainly got points out of them. And well, we did get points out of Preston, but do you know what I mean? I just think it would have been more. It's just a shame a new manager bounce. It's taken 6 games to get to that.
Yeah. He will want that first win. He'll want that off his back. I mean, you know, the press conferences, he talks very clearly. He's quite articulate about it, and he's very clear. So hopefully he's like that way in training. And, you know, the point, you know, he's getting his point across in that. I'm not concerned about him as a manager, but you have to be more concerned about the predicament we're in, because it's another 1 or 2 games gone now without points. So, you know, therein lies a really urgent problem.
It's understandably nice, isn't it, that we had a decent game, but I thought the atmosphere at Kenilworth Road was much, much better as well. But that's a reflection of how well we played, right?
It just shows you, right from the get-go, there was more tempo, more aggression, more urgency, and the crowd were immediately on it. Immediately. It was so much a better occasion. You know, it helps. You know, I thought Walsh was exceptional. I thought he played really, really well. And, you know, again, he was sort of looking to get the ball. He was looking to make passes and that. So, and it doesn't take a lot for the Luton fans to get going, you know, and really the minimum requirement should be effort and attention.
Yeah, an absolute performance. Let's have a look at your 3-word reviews from the weekend. Luton Town 0, Sheffield United 1. Reece said we deserved a point. He didn't say the wee bit, I just put that on. How do I pronounce that? Is that Lirad?
Yeah, why not?
Lirad. I'll go with Lirad. So much better. Apologies if I got your name wrong. Callum, great first half. Rob, big improvement overall. Steve, a better side, lost. Kilty, got to take chances. John, build on this. Dale, can't score goals. Andy, Adebayo's miss costly. And Aaron says we've got 14 cup finals. Who wants to pick first?
I'll take a couple which kind of mean the same thing. Kilty, got to take chances, and Dale can't score goals. It's brutal at the moment that you got to take your chances when you're on top. And let's be honest, the whole first half, bar 1.5 minutes, we dominated that first half. The stats won't tell you that, by the way. The stats are really weird at half time, but it just felt like we were so on top. You got to take your chances where you can, and ultimately it cost us. And they can't score goals. I know we in the 6 games since Bloomfield's come in, we said that's the only decent, really good performance. We've only scored 3 goals in 6 games since he's come in. 1 was an own goal, 1 was a centre half, and 1 don't play for us anymore. No strikers or midfielders are scoring goals for us at the moment. Certainly not in the last 6 games. And at the moment, Morris and Adebayo just look a mile off what they can be, and that's concerning. Joe Taylor went out. I know.
Go on, say it.
What's his name?
Go on.
No, I should have thought about this before I started talking. the Norwegian fella, but
you're talking about our new guy.
Yeah, but he's
Steve will remind you his name in a minute.
Yeah, but he's in his pre-season. You just think if we've got a real clinical quality goal scorer, or Morris or Adebayo are hitting the target like they did last time, arguably even Adebayo last season and Morris the year we went up, we're winning games like that on Saturday.
Are you finding it quite unusual they're not scoring though? I mean, they've had the opportunities. What's different? What's different in this division that they can't? They could do last season in the Premier League, and they can't do it in the Championship. Neither of them at the moment.
No, well, they're not getting an awful lot of chances, but I saw earlier that Adebayo has missed 10 more big chances than any other player in this division. 25 big chances he's missed this season.
Well, I saw that same stat, and actually then when you looked at the rest of the players, they were on 15, 14, 13 chances missed. But those next 4 players are the leading goal scorers in the league.
Yeah.
So, you like you say, there's 10 more chances that he's missed than them. He scores those, he's leading scorer in the league, and we're halfway up the table.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he's got 5 goals this season. I think it's 5.
There you go.
You've got to score goals like that, because I thought it was a great performance, but we didn't create a lot of chances. There was the Adebayo one. I don't regard Aasgaard hitting the bar as a chance. That was just great football that created an opportunity, and he was really, really unlucky. He looks good. He could almost play as an out-and-out striker. It seems. He seems really capable, but we didn't create a lot of clear-cut chances for all of the improvement.
Was that your 3-word review, by the way?
No, you didn't ask me that.
Well, I was about to ask you. You went off on one, Steve. So.
Well, I think John build on this because we've got no opportunity other than to do that. And Steve, better side lost. People are saying we deserved a point, or at least I think we deserved all 3.
I genuinely
really do.
Yeah, you walk away from the stadium thinking, how did we not get something out of it?
But it is down to 2 key key errors.
Yeah.
That's it. Adebayo's miss and McGuinness. Sort of getting caught.
Okay, look, we had 7 changes from the Sunderland game, and by the way, we'll just briefly talk about Ali's miss. He was so lucky that he was deemed offside, because not scoring that position when you're right on the line at Sunderland.
Yeah,
that was like me on the driving range up at Tilsworth trying to smash 7 bells out of the ball and doing a complete air shot. I saw a lot of me in that one.
So 7 changes from that game: Bell, Adebayo, Naismith, Nakamba, Walsh, Jones, and Doughty. And you're right, Darren. When we looked at the team sheet, we're thinking we're going to start well here, and I think we did start well. Do you not feel that the press was bigger, the speed was bigger, we kept the ball, we were looking for making those chances?
We strung 3 passes together as well,
3.
Ultimately, I'm jesting in a way, but the tempo, which we touched on, was the main thing right from the get-go. I don't know if you don't have a go against Sheffield United, they're gonna. Oh, there you go, Steve. Yeah, they're gonna, you're gonna come at you.
Sorry, sorry, Darren, you stolen one of my pages.
I just take it all. Well, it's all about me.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you'll never understand what just happened.
But yeah, I think that's the pleasing thing, and we haven't started a game like that in a long, long time. And like we said, we've got the crowd going and everything else. Players have got some points to prove. You were saying Walsh was excellent.
Yeah.
I find it really strange that he's the one that Bloomfield hasn't really. He's given everybody a chance, but Walsh.
Yeah.
In the 5 games before.
Yeah.
So it was refreshing, and he really had a point to prove. But and he really did it.
Yeah.
But I just think from back to front, they were all on the same page. It was refreshing to see. And in his post-match interview, he said that's a Luton performance. First half certainly was.
Is that familiarity because of personnel and the setup? There was a lot more people in their position, familiar with who was next to them or who was up ahead of them. There was a lot more of what we would have regarded as a steady sort of outfit.
Well, funnily enough, players in their positions and they do all right. It's.
Yeah,
I suppose that's the way it goes, isn't it? Listen, 8 minutes in, and Eli had a really, really good opportunity with the header. For me, personally, when that cross goes in, rather than glance, if he just connects with it straight, he scores.
Yeah, I know, and this is the frustrating bit. His confidence is obviously completely zero. He's putting himself in those positions. A lot of people would hide. But so he's putting himself in those positions, but he's just not hitting the target, and it is going to be costly if we don't sort things out. This is going to cost us.
I mean, Sheffield United fans were quite quiet at the game. They're quite quiet. I think they were expecting it to be a little bit easier, don't you?
Yeah, I think it must have been. I was looking down here when Aasgaard hit the he crossed for Adabo, was missing everything. The time seemed to fly past that first half because we were enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think I sat there and thought to myself, the Sheffield United fans must be going, how would this lot bottom the table?
Which is the first time this season, apart from Watford at home and maybe Sunderland at home.
Sunderland a little bit.
It's the first time this season they've said it. When we went to Sheffield United, Steve, they were just telling, they couldn't believe how poor we were.
I was going to say, we were talking to some of their fans on the way back to the car, and they were, like we've mentioned so many times, they were, what the hell has happened to you? Like, where have you gone?
So they would have been really surprised about the way that we were playing and the speed that we were playing at. And they clearly didn't know how good Aasgaard was, nor did we, because I've not seen him until today, or Saturday, sorry. But his footwork and his ability was brilliant. And the little turn he did just before he clipped it over onto the crossbar was fantastic.
Yeah. And look, I know I get on Clicker's back a lot, but no.
It was his fault.
You have to mention him, was he?
Look, come on. Look, you don't get anything from running around like a headless chicken. You kind of go, well, thanks for the effort you put in, but you need some results. You need something at the end, or like to get the crowd going. Clicker doesn't do that, but then you put a Walsh.
You can't call him a headless chicken, Darren. There is absolutely no way you can call Clicker. You can.
I just did.
You can, but I think that an awful lot of people would be very much against that,
and I think a lot of people would be for it as well. But we just said how well Walsh played. He pulled the strings. You got Aasgaard in there who had that turn, that little bit of popping a shot off from wherever, a little bit of excitement, and it made the world of difference.
I noticed that up at Sheffield Wednesday, how well he brought the ball down under control from up in the air.
Yes.
There's a couple of times that he sort of got past people, and he done it again Saturday. And that, I mean, and the shot that he had, I mean, that was really, really good. As you said, he sort of cut inside and just put it over. Keeper was done. The keeper was nowhere near it. On another day, that is in. But that, again, it just sums up when you're down at the bottom and struggling, those things don't go your way.
He's got a hell of a shot on him. Hell of a shot. If he can now just get that on target.
Yeah, just bring it down a couple of inches.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, when your luck's not going for you, it's not going for you. Any other time, it hits the bottom of the crossbar and goes in, and it's a spectacular goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was him again who really brought. I just felt I can't remember Sheffield United doing anything in that first half.
No.
And this is what bothers me when I read that Sky reporters were saying Sheffield United totally in control of the game. And I'm thinking, how can that be?
We looked at half time and they had something like 54% of the possession. And I'm thinking,
no.
Where? When?
I don't see that.
I
And
don't
if they
get
have the possession, they're not doing anything with it. It's from the back of the goal and up and through.
What I'll say on that, Dave, about the Sky people. When I got home, I spoke to my good lady wife about it, and she said that every time on the Sky Sports Saturday programme, every time they went over to the ground, the guy was saying Luton are doing so well today.
Wow.
So on that particular person who was doing like the in-match commentary or updates, he was giving us all the praise. And quite
we deserved it. We totally deserved it. And look, and it was Aasgaard again who put in a brilliant cross that is the one for me that Eli should have scored. You know, I don't know how to describe it. Well, I'm just waiting for it's right opposite where I am. He was right in line with it.
It's a sitter, isn't it?
It's a sitter. He has to score.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for the net to ripple. And he doesn't get there.
I've only seen it back once, but I'm thinking, could he have gone with his head?
Why not? I said the same.
Yeah, exactly. Because it went over. Maybe he was stretching for it a little bit, sort of height-wise. But so as you say, I mean, that would have been perfect head. Just go.
Just bend down a bit and then nod it in. You've seen it done before because he couldn't get his foot high enough to volley it in
to get over the top of it to bring it down. So he's got under it and it's gone up. But and I know he's not going to leave it as a striker. But Jones is right behind him as well.
Yeah,
but,
he wouldn't have known that. And
no.
I think ultimately, I'm sitting there going, and I think I turned to the guys next to me and I just went, "We're going to get so suckered here."
Yeah,
we're going to get so suckered. At this point, we keep missing. Something's going to happen. But again, first half, Kaminsky made one save apparently.
37th minute. They had about 1.5 minutes where we sort of backed off a little bit, and they came through. Kaminsky went to half, come out, stopped, and I was like, "Oh no!" But he did the right thing because then he kept himself nice and big and. A good save, but a routine save. Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah, exactly. How good was it to see a natural leader leading the defensive line? I mean,
we're talking about Naismith.
We are.
And do you know what? There was a lot of people that really were anti him coming back and anti him getting in the team. But actually, what a difference it made.
For me, we could probably go through the whole team and make a case for everyone. But for me, he was the difference. He was the difference.
Yeah, I think I agreed with Walsh being man of the match, but I think Naismith was literally a sliver behind.
I think you're probably right, Stephen. But I think you could have got picked 7 or 8 for man of the match. I thought there were some really good performances, but just the calmness. Look, when when I saw that we signed Naismith, I was like, "What? Where's that come from?" And I thought, well, if we get the Naismith of 4 or 5 seasons ago, then we've got a hell of a player. It's just the manner in which he left with his comments and stuff like that. But look, we've got to move on.
He was big enough to come back and admit that maybe he shouldn't have gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a career, right?
Look, we went on to bigger and better things than he did. So
and he'll regret not being with us for that.
But his calmness on the ball is lovely. Not Barkley-esque, but Barkley could just buy himself a couple of seconds.
Yeah,
Naismith never lashes one out. He never panics.
I mean, there was a couple of times where he was a little bit laboured and got caught. Yeah. But again, he's hardly played for the last 2 years, so he's going to take some getting up to speed. Sort of fine tuning that. But it was the way you could see him talking to the whole of the defensive line constantly.
And it was the Kaminsky save, and maybe a defender did some blocking or something like that, but he was straight over, patting them on the back. They were giving high fives.
Oh, he absolutely wants it. He wants to redeem himself, but I think he wants to be back to playing his best football, and I think he sees the period when he was at Luton as by far and away the best he's ever played. Because I'm not saying you could call him a journeyman, but apart from that period at Luton, he's been an all right player. But Luton,
he stood out with us.
He was
the first time.
Absolutely exceptional.
And actually, I think was all a bit disappointed when he left because I think if he'd have stayed, he would have been in the Premier
Yeah.
League with us.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
But
and,
Bristol City offered him a wage that at that point we were just never going
true.
to.
Yeah.
And you can't deny them
Yeah.
that opportunity, because, you know, if we all get offered better jobs for more money, we're going to go, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, if you're a mercenary like you, Dave.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, look, so second half starts, Chris Wilder, bless him, made a couple of changes because he's obviously seen how good we were, and I thought they sort of quietened down Aasgaard a bit with these changes. And then I don't know how Sheffield United didn't go one up almost immediately. I don't know how their player, who was it?
Brereton Diaz.
Yeah, I don't know how he did not score.
I've-
I was waiting again. It was, for me, worse than the Adebayo chance.
I've never fancied him. I know he's sort of got goals when he was at Blackburn and that, but I've always thought he was an overhyped player. I've never thought much of him.
But hitting the post from that distance, and it's that open.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thankful at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously made no difference in the end, but you think if they go 1-0 up, they're just going to pack the defence, and then it's going to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Then we had another chance, didn't we? We had another chance. Doughty's free kick apparently was pretty decent. I just chance after chance, we were still creating something.
Morris had a header early on in the
Yeah.
second half. That was a hell of a save from their goalie.
Yeah.
Like proper clawed it out from nowhere.
It's kind of annoying that we're just not getting that luck, are we?
No, it's right, and that is what happens when you're down. But I hope that they can take a lot out of Saturday, sort of with regards to their confidence and that. But you know, I know we'll come on to it, but you know, we've been saying it for the last 2 months. We have to do it this week, but you know, we're running out of time. You know, I just hope that they can take everything that they can out of Saturday's performance and really move on again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let's touch on Sheffield United's goal then, because at live watching it live, you're thinking, how is that onside? And then you look back at it. I mean, on the game day, we saw it straight away, and we just thought, McGuinness. What's your thoughts? I mean, firstly, should McGuinness have seen what was going to happen? He should have stepped up with the rest of the line.
Yeah, because the rest of them are all pretty much in line. You almost see the two banks, don't you? The defence and the midfield. So they've all got up. And here lies... Look, a defender can call the line anyway, but here lies where I you know, Morris is the captain, but if you've got a captain back there screaming at you, a Naismith, a Lockyer, up, or whatever, you know, you're getting up. I know they can do that without being captain, but it just... Someone needed to... Well, one, he's a professional footballer. He should know you've got to get up. You know, as soon as you clear the ball, up, get up. Give the keeper some room. You know, get him offside. But someone else.
I can't believe for a second that Naismith or one of them wasn't saying that, but for some reason he didn't go up.
You know, but we've got Bell out. You know, sort of that back three. We had Bell out there, Naismith, and maybe it was just the one time a bit of communication broke down. But as a player himself, you know, he's done some great shot blocking over the last couple of games. There's no doubt he's committed to the cause, but you know, I questioned his positioning on crosses a couple of pods ago. His positioning is left wanting quite a lot, and you know, and he's not just keeping them on. He's 5 yards behind the rest of the defence. That's real schoolboy.
Yeah,
real schoolboy error.
It just deflated you because you just knew what was coming. You know, you work so hard and you know you miss your opportunities, and then you gift them one. You know, because they didn't really,
Which is very Luton.
Yeah. It is. You know, it's those same little traits. A much better in performance, but still those traits that have cost us.
Where do we go from here? Let's talk about Wednesday. Wednesday is the game of our season. Now, if we don't win Wednesday, even I'm going to give up on my optimism. We have to beat Plymouth.
Yeah, I mean, I felt after the Sunderland performance, I thought 10 days on the training pitch, and they offered nothing different really against Sunderland, who could afford to be ordinary at best and just stroll through the game.
Saying earlier, that's twice Sunderland have been bang average and beaten us this season.
I mean, their first goal, I think it is Fane just backed off and just gave him all the time he wanted to put it away. I would hope after 10 days on the training pitch, things would have been worked on so much, but we're still making those little errors, and we are being punished for every opportunity that we sort of concede at the moment.
There's no doubt in my mind that Matt Bloomfield is putting his mark on the team in the training, and he's putting his mark. He just hasn't found the perfect team yet because of injuries. Would you say that is a fair assessment?
It probably is, Dave. I think because he's been saying certain things in his interviews, and then we don't see that on the pitch. He wants to attack, he wants to put the ball in dangerous places, and then you watch that Sunderland performance and you go, you haven't set him up to do what you're saying you want to do. Whereas Saturday we did what he's been saying. Now 4 players are back. For me personally, hopefully there's an extra one back next week. We were talking about McGuinness there. I think when Burke, I don't know, I think Mengi's a bit more long term, but I think Burke's imminent. And
in your mind then, does Burke come back and replace McGuinness immediately?
Yeah, I think so.
And then you play him alongside who?
Naismith and Bell. Yeah, you need that experience, because you said that McGuinness's mistakes are costing us.
I mean, Burke has never let us down with poor performances.
Just injury.
Yeah, I think he's had some poor games when he's been asked to do the most ridiculous roles. Yeah. Like Sheffield United away, for example. But if he is match fit, we can't afford to be carrying anyone. And I don't know how you get someone up to match fitness without playing them, but. That is a pretty decent 3, to be honest with you. If they're bang on it fitness-wise.
And then you got Mads and McGuinness as your backups.
Wow.
I think that would just make that back.
If we play the same way we played Saturday against Plymouth, there's a very good chance that we might win. However, Plymouth are coming. They're not coming off the back of the defeat of the weekend, apparently. But before that, they've had the joy of Liverpool.
Yeah,
they're going.
Well, they've got a little bit of a distraction on their minds as well, haven't they? So
I was clinging onto that straw as well, because normally the phrase is after the Lord Mayor's show, isn't it? But they backed it up with a win, a handsome win, didn't they? So they're a different proposition to what they were 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah. Again, we've got to be so on it, but we
need to find a bit of form, Steve, because the game after is Watford, and again we can't go to Vicarage Road and put in a performance like we did there when we was last there and get spanked again. And we just can't do that. Although knowing Luton, we probably can.
We can undoubtedly, but we don't want to.
Now is the time. We're running out of games. We just got to get 2 or 3 wins on the bounce, and we've just got to get 2 or 3 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
So why not start Wednesday?
I agree, but we haven't won for over 2 months.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. We did perform well on Saturday. We need to back the performance. The performances have got to be like that week in, week out,
with goals.
Yeah,
with goals.
I think that's the thing. Goals from open play. It's just how we're going to get around that. Whether he gives Ali and you thought of his name yet, Steve?
What Nordas?
We knew it all along. Yeah,
is that what he was trying to get earlier?
Yes, yeah.
So whether he gives those a chance, because I think probably he stepped Clark out the firing line maybe a little bit. He might have to do the same.
According to Bloomfield, Nordas has literally only just started like his pre-season.
Yeah, but
you can chuck him over 10 minutes. He's super tall, isn't he?
You can start him, and you'd think he'd get through 45, have 15-minute break, and then do another 10-15 for me,
or just put him on as an impact at the end. If you're chasing a goal, put him on.
Yeah,
put a bit of height in the box and just lump it to him, because that's what we do, isn't it? That's what you do them.
All right, Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, well, I think that's what would happen in my head. While we're on prediction league, by the way, I'm bottom. I'm quite happy with that.
Good.
My prediction for Wednesday is that Luton are going to win 3-0.
God, you've gone in with that early. I haven't even read it down.
Well, I'm just going to tell you now, because it's just in my head.
Isn't he?
Yeah, I know what I'm ad-libbing, yeah. I've gone off script, Jacob. Sorry about that.
Well, no, you've said it.
You're gone. What are you going
to go 2-1 Luton.
Why do we have to concede, Steve? Just makes it dodgy. Is it 2-0 up at last minute, they can have one, but not the other way around.
Yeah, well, and we'll find out the others.
I just nearly said something ridiculous then.
Not for the first time.
Take your time, Darren. We're running.
Sorry, well, you brought it up now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to put it in this place.
Let's just go bonkers 3-2 to Luton.
Okay.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Can we be...
I just said we're going to score 3 goals. We've scored 3 in the last 6.
Yeah, 3-2 Luton. Well, I'll take a win. I'll just take a win.
Yeah.
Are we inspired, though, for Wednesday? Are we really thinking that, this is it? Because we can't keep saying this is it, can we?
It has to be it. It has to be it. I think it's sort of do or die, isn't it? I really do think that, because we are running out of games. We've
got to play the likes of Derby. We've got to still play... Well, I was going to say all the teams above us, but they're all above us anyway.
It almost looks like there's a little bit of a mini league
Portsmouth
creating down the bottom there, though, isn't it? Aren't there?
There is enough time for us to comfortably finish mid-table. So, it's not panic. It's just the fact that we've not shown that we're likely to win.
It's where those games are, though. I think because Plymouth is Wednesday, you lose that, and dare I say, if nothing happens on the Sunday, okay, yes, we've got those games coming, but the morale and the mindset might be gone.
I mean, Wednesday is a massive game, and I think after the way they performed on Saturday, it's one that I am looking forward to.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I haven't said that at all this season. I don't think, apart from at the very beginning. So I'm really looking forward to it. Can they go out and put in that intensity? Naismith, that's his first. Did he do the whole lot?
Did the whole game.
Yeah. So can he go and do 90 again?
Hope so.
Big time. But because ultimately Sunday should look after itself.
Yeah, exactly. What I will say as well, I think the ovation that they got at the end sort of might heal some sort of open sores that were maybe there from following the previous home game. I think that the players and the management, etc., they all have to accept that we know if they've put in the effort and if they've performed to a decent level.
To the same extent, I can have a dig at the fans for a bit, if you don't mind. I think we've been terrible this season.
Yeah, but we've been terrible. But we've had nothing to go after.
Well, what they've been doing is just backbiting all the time, and people like us and me. Obviously, I can't exclude myself from this. Have an opinion, and we say it out loud, and it gets put out there all of the time. But how do you think that makes the club feel? How do you think that makes the players and the club feel? That they're constantly going at them, and they're not intentionally losing, are they?
No, but surely it should be nothing that we say would be a surprise to them. No one can sit there going, "Crikey, I can't believe they're having a go at us."
I think in last season, the amount of points we left out there. This season, how many points have we left out there? How many points we dropped? Hardly any. Saturday's one of the only examples where you go, we lost some points there. So they can't come off the pitch thinking, "Oh, we deserved more there." You're right, Steve. They must see and feel what we're seeing and feeling.
As demoralising it is to watch them play, sometimes it could be as demoralising to hear the rhetoric coming back at you, rightly or wrongly. You can say what you want. That's why we do these sort of things.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just think I'm not saying applaud them off, but I'm just saying we as a group, a fan base this year, we've been expecting far too much, obviously, because we haven't achieved it.
Yeah, but
then blaming everybody else.
Yeah, but I think Saturday proved that the vast majority of the Luton fans know if they've put in the effort and and they've performed to a level.
So I thought Saturday was great. Listen, we asked you guys, are you any more inspired by our performance against Sheffield United? And give us your thoughts on Aasgaard's first home game, because I actually genuinely thought he was great. Obviously, some of you guys did too. Dwight said yes, it's the first time in a long time that we deserved the win but lost. Aasgaard looked brilliant, as did Walsh. I don't understand why Walsh hasn't played more, to be honest. LTFC Dave, much better performance with no reward. Imperative we maintain that sort of level for the remaining games. Aasgaard looks class. Looks like he can cut defences open but can still scrap when he needs to. And he's put in brackets the Scouse upbringing coming in useful. Hunch says Aasgaard is what we've been crying out for. Someone in the middle who actually likes having the ball. First off, on Saturday, the tempo was good and felt very Luton. I don't feel we can score 2 goals in a game at the moment. Strikers look low in confidence, so we're relying on a clean sheet. Hunch, I've got to tell you, I've predicted we're going to win 3-0 on Wednesday, so keep that in your head. Reese, performance was near perfect apart from the fact we didn't score. So we have to back it up with a similar performance versus Plymouth. Aasgaard is what we've needed all season, can play a great pass into a dangerous area and also not afraid to shoot if he has a chance to.
Yeah.
And Mark says, everything was so much better. Bloomfield showed us he was willing to be flexible with tactics and formation, something that Edwards unfortunately never did. Having Naismith in the back line helps so much. His first touch is always forward, which allows us to play quick football on the front foot. And you can't disagree with any of those comments, can we?
No, exactly.
Yeah, and I thought Aasgaard and Doughty made kind of a good partnership.
Did they link up?
They linked up really, really well.
I think you got two intelligent footballers there though, so you know that they are going to naturally sort of sync and find each other.
Yeah, no, it's exciting.
Just while I was coughing there, apologies. Watford sold out. I'm excited to go still.
Yeah.
I'm dreading going, but I'm excited to go in
It's
the
a
same
fixture
way.
that you always dread, regardless of what your current form is. Even if you're on fire, you dread the fixture.
But they've had a bit
done.
they've had a bit of a poor run themselves recently. I mean, they only sort of fired it back up at the weekend, didn't they, against Middlesbrough?
Yeah, I mean that was a good win away there, but I don't think that they're too happy with their home performances at the moment.
No, I think beginning of the season they weren't doing it away from home. Now the home form has gone off, and look, Middlesbrough a bit hit and miss. You know, Carrick's under a bit of pressure, so it probably on paper looks a better win than it is.
Yeah. And also our fixture with them the last sort of 4 or 5 times it's been pretty much home team wins.
Yeah. And so something has to give. Something has to give.
That.
Yeah, and so my score prediction for that one is Watford 0, Luton 3. There you go. I've done it again.
Honestly, Dave.
Well, you know what? It's going to happen one day, innit? Why not? Just why not? Anything else we need to talk about? Luton ladies are in the County Cup final. Well done, girls. AFC Dunstable, they won 5-0, and they played in the Bedford final. And you bumped into a few people at the stadium, Steve, you want to say hello to, and so it's £1 for every person you mention.
I did not bump into anyone then, if that's the case. No, just a quick chat with Alex and Andy, sort of having a quick beer in the Kenilworth Road End, just catching up with them before the game. It was nice. Yeah, good lads.
And I'm yet to be recognised.
So if you're at
apart from when that bloke said, "Are you Tintin?"
Oh dear. Well, this is a natural finish, isn't it? If you do see Darren in the stadium, he's feeling a bit left out. So go up and say hello to him, and you can agree with his views if it gets clicker or not. Just at the weekend, you know, it was fun. It didn't end up the way we wanted it to be. So Wednesday night's a big one. If you're watching on YouTube, as usual, I know that you've already done it, but if you haven't, can you click like and subscribe? If you're on any of the other outlets and you want to just pop over and see how good looking we all are, then just go on, like and subscribe. We'll see you post Watford. So,
hang on. What if we have an absolute thumping win after Plymouth? Maybe do a little quick 15-minute one.
If we have a thumping win against Plymouth, we'll get together and put something out. So until then, we'll see you soon. Take care. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.